Good morning everyone, and welcome back to Craft Eccentricity. And today I'm going to finally do it. We're going to make the angel. Yeah, I know. It's taken a couple of weeks, but here we are. This was the first one that I did, and I've got a silicone backdrop today because we're going to use a hot glue gun. But that was the first one that I did, which I thought was quite pretty. And do you know, this is going to make you laugh because I know it made me laugh. My husband said I should never have put the heart behind her head. And I said, why on earth not? And he said, because now she looks like Gary Oldman from Dracula. So I had to go and Google it, and oh my goodness me. Gary Oldman has a hairstyle that looks almost like a love heart on top of his head in Dracula. So, yeah, you know, my husband was almost correct there. But let's not make mistakes like that today. Right, we want to know how to do it. And this time it's going to be a Frida. So if I just grab Gary Oldman back again and look, you can see that you get a bead. KSCRAFT actually does sell these beads along with the die. So what I had to do, because Frida Kahlo has very distinctive eyebrows and hair, she always had, you know, flowers in her hair, and I didn't have any nice wool or anything. I had to use a few mixed fibres, and basically that is how I've done her head. So I used a fine line marker here. This is what is it? It's a Copic Multiliner SP05, and I drew her eyebrows on, and I used little paper flowers that I've had for years and years, and I hot glued those on. But as I said, I had no nice wool, so I had mixed fibres which were black with a little bit of gold in and some black eyelash trim, and then I just glued that onto the bead to sort of like give it the effect of hair. And she definitely does not look like Gary Oldman. See, I'm going to put it next to that one. Start building up some character angels. I shouldn't laugh at that, but I checked and I thought, oh my goodness me, and it really does. So, you know, Google Gary Oldman Dracula and go and have a look afterwards. And I know it was, you know, it's going to give you a good old laugh. Right, so this is the die. The die is large. If I hold it that way around, you can see it has this score here. Now what you do is you run the die through twice, because you need one skirt layer, or you can, you know, double it up and have a double skirt. And you need two of these because these are the sleeves, and I'll show you what I mean. Right, so this is the skirt layer. Now I've chosen this fabric because I don't know, I just thought Frida would kind of like that. And you can see here you've got all your score lines where you're going to do your peaks and valleys, and attached to this long piece here was this one, which I've trimmed off, and these become the sleeves. So there are two sleeves and there is one dress, and it's really easy to do. Basically you just find your score lines and you just fold. That's all you have to do, backwards and forwards, peaks and valleys, so that what you're ending up with is, you know, big long row of zigzags. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to dash away, I'm going to fold everything and come back and show you the next bit. Okay, so I've done that, and I hope it's not too blurred. And this is the skirt piece, and if I turn it on its side there, you can see it's all peaks and valleys. Now you can connect several of these and you can make a rosette look, so it doesn't just have to be an angel. If I turn it that way, it's probably easier to see. It's a multi-use, and I've done exactly the same thing on the sleeves, and the sleeves will need to point down in the direction of the lace along with the other one, and then this one will go on this side, so that if I move my head out of the way for a minute, oh dear, I might just start laughing and not stop in a second. You're making get that correct, you're making a sort of T shape. So you've got your gown and you've got your sleeves. Now to stick the sleeves on, I'm going to use some tape, but when we push the whole thing together, we're going to be using this, which you can just about see is my glue gun, and I've got it switched on. That's just off to the side there. But first of all, we need some tape to be able to stick our sleeves on. Right, so I'm going to go like that. So you're quite literally connecting that back up. So a piece of tape onto there. If you haven't got any wide tape, you can use, you know, 2 slim pieces side by side. I'm not going to completely cover up that jagged lace section, otherwise I'd have to cut all that out with my scissors. So I'm just going to trim that off just above it, and I will show you. There you go. Oh, I've got some weird glare. It's stuck down just above the ziggy-zaggy bit. And then this bit is kind of narrower, and it's going to this narrow section here. So I am going to have to put my tape on. I've just picked up a bit of fluff from somewhere. And just above the zigzaggy bit, so my hands are still a little bit shaky. Should be shaking even more thinking about Gary Oldman. Oh dear. It's almost grounds for divorce, isn't it? Oh, right, and there we go. We can trim up there and get rid of that bit of excess tape. And I'll stick it down on my mat because I never know if I'm going to need a little bit extra on something else. And I'm now going to just fold that, and I'm going to peel it off. And I hope you can see that. Like I said, it's quite cold here today, but we've got bright sunshine. So those two need to line up, and they need to butt up. Quite literally like that. So that when you're folding it, can you see that? Those are going to be your angel's wings. And of course your skirt's going to come in as well. But your angel wings are connected to the dress. So just think of it, you know, like a T shape. And I'm going to peel this one off as well. And your fancy lace pieces are all pointed downwards. Now, I just need to face this towards me so that I get it straight. There we go. And there we've got that piece. So we're like a big long connected T, and that is going to come across like that. And one of the reasons you'll see the people who've made these have got a bow under the neck or something. I've actually got a little spare rose to use. Because you'll end up seeing the hot glue, you want something just under the bead's head. So I'm actually going to be using a rose. Now, my glue gun, I don't think is hot enough yet. So I'm just going to scoot off for a couple of seconds while that gets hot, and then come back and put it together. Right, I think we might be hot enough now. And all you need to do, I'll put it this way around so that you can see, squeeze your dress together and bring your wings in so that you're all even like that. I might be a little bit out on mine, but I'm not worried. I'm still not 100%, and that's my excuse. And then you need to curl it around as if you're making a rosette. And it's into that portion there, that little half a hole that you can see, this bit, where you need to pop your glue. Now, it could be that I need to come back round this way again now. And don't worry about it being all tight together, because it will begin to fan out. So I'm hoping I'm going to be able to get a huge gloop of hot glue going along there and put it back in its holder. And I'm just going to take that around. Now, as you know, hot glue is hot. That's why it's called hot glue. And I have got quite a bit in there. So you can see now it's a little bit fiddly. Not too much fiddly, but it is a little bit. And I also need to bring my head in. So hopefully bits of that are now going to stick. And as I said, don't worry about it being sort of like tightly held together for now, because as you start to pop your head on, you will start to release it. Right, so moving the head out of the way there. I hope you can see this. And I've got my glue in the middle, but now I need glue right at the top. And that is where you're going to start squeezing your wings in and popping your head there. Now, I want her head the correct way around. So I'm quite literally holding that onto the hot glue that I've just popped down. I hope you're able to see that. I'm trying to move my fingers out of the way as much as possible. Maybe if I hold it there, you'll be able to see. So she's got her head there and it's stuck right on the wings. Now, those wings may fan out a little bit more after. Now, what I want to do there, you can see a little bit of glue there. And I have got my little rose here. I've got a little paper rose and I'm going to pop that under her chin, which, if you remember, I showed you the other little angel I did, and it's got a bow to hide that bit. My Gary Oldman. And so I'm popping that little rose under there because I just think that's going to sort of like be more Friederish, if you know what I mean, than a bow. And I should be able to release that. Yeah, I did. There we go. I hope you can see her. That is my Frida Angel. So you can see that putting that little bit of glue up there into the neckline as you're forming it can feel a little bit fiddly. And, you know, any bits of glue that's gone hard, you know, you can just peel those off afterwards. But do wait for it to go cool. But, yeah, that's my Frida. And hang on a second. I'll be right back. Right, that's a better background. The other sort of like silicone was a bit glary. So I can show you Frida again. There's little Frida. And I hope that that's clear. I just think she's really, really sweet. But, you know, Frida and Gary. Oh, dear me. Yeah. You've got to go Google it because my husband's so right. I mean, really, I should not have put that heart there. But I like it anyway. So now I've got Frida and Gary. And I hope you enjoyed that tutorial. Right, I am going to be up tomorrow with a design team haul from KLJ UYP. Thank you so much for watching, and as usual, all links below. Bye.